again to Heroes Hype, Michael Udall, and myself. Okay, hold on. For the record, is it Udall or Udall?
It's Udall.
Udall. All right, we have it. I'm sure you've answered that before, but for the record here, again, it's Udall. And yes, I changed my shirt. I was getting hot in that sweater, and I didn't wear a tank top. So yeah, I changed my shirt. All right, now that we got all of that stuff out of the way, Savage Gaming versus On My Science in the finals, best of 3.
It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one. I am personally quite excited. Both of these teams have a lot of names that if you've watched the AM scene for any amount of time, you're probably pretty familiar with. I'm excited to see which one brings out the more creative drafts, because we've seen some pretty fun creative drafts from both sides tonight.
I'm just hoping for another chokeoff, man. I actually feel like that hero's really good. That hero's like,
yeah.
Really. I feel like every time I play with chokeoff or against chokeoff in here, like I just get dumpstered. Well, we win, or like we dumpster or we get dumpstered. Yeah, maybe that's just Hero League though. Yeah, the hero definitely like feels like if you can get to late game, the hero's just an absolute beast. I feel like we'll most likely see a lot of double support and a lot of Garrosh priority. I feel like Garrosh has proven that he is just a menace, and I expect to see him either first pick or first banned. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think what else. I mean, I feel like the other picks outside of Garrosh have been kind of all over the place. I mean, Brightwing's been pretty high, but outside of that, I feel like Garrosh is the main one that's kind of sticking out to me as top tier hero.
No, I agree 100%. I feel like the meta's in a fun place right now where there's no one rule. You know what I mean? It's not like you got to get your globals, and it's not like other than double support, which is kind of really the only thing we've seen sort of with any real consistency. But like the TAS, Vala, TAS, anything for a while, Zeratul, there's been heroes that have like solo defined the meta. And I feel like we haven't seen quite as much of that of late, which I love. I love the fact that more heroes are legitimately viable. We haven't seen Lily yet tonight. We have not seen we were. I would like to see it. I see a lot more Lucy.
I'm waiting for Lily, man. I feel like Lily after her changes are actually so good. I feel like she's still good. She's not like tier 1 support, I would say, but I definitely feel like she's strong. Which
it hurts and it heals. Like it's not bad.
Well, she has cleanse too. That's actually a big thing. She is a cleanse support, which are pretty rare now. So being able to get the cleanse ability, I think, is one of her biggest upsides. And I mean, she's also unkillable. Like, have you ever tried to kill a Lily post 20 when she has that armor? Like, it's just impossible. She's running like 1,000,000 miles an hour, has like 50 armor. You're like, what is this little panda? Like how do I kill this? So, yeah.
Yeah, just put a Lily and a Johanna together, and it's like, well, we're never killing anything ever.
Excellent. But never dying, because they don't do anything damage-wise. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited to see this best of 3. Best of 1s are fun and exciting, but I like best of 3s, best of 5s, because you kind of get to feel like a meta evolves, and you get to see how teams kind of adapt and how they counter their opponent after a loss or after a win, preemptive counters. So I'm really excited to see how this turns out. I think it'll be pretty hype. I don't know who's gonna win. I've been impressed with teams actually, like the Kevin Bros and Dark Chimera, and I don't know. I think both teams have solid players, so I think a lot of it will come down to draft. I feel like this is a very Heroes of the Storm is just a draft dependent game. So I'm really excited to see what the maps are and what drafts are picked and who just wins the game, man.
Dude, I'm so ready to see who wins the video game. But no, I agree. Allowing the ability for your team to respond, to say, okay, we saw what you did there. You drafted a really good comp. It was this, but here's my answer to it. Because at this level, you'll see a lot of teams just like run it till it breaks. They'll just like, I've seen teams like run literally almost to the hero, the exact same composition from start to end in a tournament. It's like, well, they brought up this.
I mean, look at Roll20 pretty much all year. Like they're Medivh priority, right? Well, and they won with it. They were the number 1 team at the end of the season. So like, who are we to say that is wrong? Anyway, like they, it got to the point where teams just always had to first ban Medivh, right? Which like, how big of a win is that? That like they are just so scared of one hero that you always pretty much get a strong meta hero in your first pick. So it's a tried and true strategy. If you get really good at a hero, or get those respect bans, or just get really good at one style, that's always really good. It looks like the bans are going to be Savage, bans Braxis, and then Warhead will be the other ban. So I think we're still waiting on the map pick, but those are going to be the bans. I feel like Warhead has been a really common ban pretty much this entire tournament. I feel like I've always seen at least one team banning Warhead. Braxis ban I think is pretty common as well. I think a lot of teams don't like that map. Personally, I love it. Pick Zagara, you'll win. You'll prosper. Pick some globals. But I think as a general consensus, most people aren't a big fan of that map.
Yeah, it's definitely a map that requires a lot of very high level decision making, because there's so many things happening at once. In some instances, you got to say, all right, is what do we prioritize here? And some of the less experienced teams tend to struggle with that a bit more. So there's absolutely a good reason why we see that. But in this case, I mean, it's going to come down to which team feels more comfortable being the aggressors. I really feel like it's all about setting the pace at the level here. And that's really what I look for at any level. I mean, look at, Roll20 is a great example. They're often a team that we would see counterplaying. And they weren't always necessarily the ones making those hard engages, but the second you make one error, suddenly you've got a Medivh portal in your backline and you have an entire team taking an advantage. And that's one style. But on the other side, you've got the teams who are not afraid to go in deep, like a Tempo Storm, and be the ones to really decide when we're fighting, going in, utilizing their warrior play to set the pace. And, obviously there's different styles of engagements. There's different styles of team fighting. And at this level, like the high end AM play, we're seeing them develop what will eventually become staples in the HEC. A lot of the stuff we see starts here.
Yeah, definitely very interesting. I just like in my talking with other pros, I generally feel like that dictates the pace of the game. Whether that be they have a comp that does that, or whether they just have really strong rotations, is generally going to be the team that wins, in my opinion. So generally the team that is the first one on top wall, right? Where essentially you're forcing the enemy opponent to say, okay, are we going to go respond to them on top wall, or are we going to counter push mid? Generally, putting your enemy in a situation where they constantly are having to make decisions and giving them the chance to hit the, to make the wrong decision is almost always the better decision and the better thing, because you're essentially giving your opponent a lot more opportunities to mess up, right? And to make the wrong shot call, which allows you to capitalize and snowball that lead more. So generally, if you're trying to improve in Team League, generally being the team that dictates the pace of the game, just like, even if it's not always the most optimal call, doing something is better than not doing something, in my opinion, generally. So like, okay, yeah, we're going to take knights, but maybe doing something else would have been better, but like forcing the enemy team to respond in the correct manner is generally the better thing to do. So just a little tidbit, knowledge bomb drop. I don't know.
Let's do it. No, this is what people do. People are coming in here listening to the pros. This is the kind of stuff they want to hear, man. But that's exactly it. And, obviously the fact that this is not just your standard Hero League game. These guys are on comms. They can discuss, they can communicate, they can coordinate, they can discuss. That's what really sets it over the edge. So that's why, again, we talked about it earlier with voice comms. I'm so excited to see that we're going to start to see more of that in the average game, of these teams be able to put together these calls on the fly, react in real time. I'm stoked. But I mean, already looking at this game, the amount of GMs I'm seeing, the amount of lightning rank is excellent.
Hey, Darkham era number 13. We got this Observer number 48. I don't know who he is, but it's kind of boosted. Troy number 39. It looks like we definitely got some high level GM players, which I love to see. I think I played with pretty much all these guys, so it definitely has a high level or a high end Heroes of the Storm game, which is going to be really cool to see. I love watching high level Storm. You kind of get to the stage where mind games become such a thing, right? Where abusing Fog of War becomes such a thing. And that really, because I feel like a lot of people wonder, like, what really differentiates, like, top, like, pro teams from, like, like, what makes MVP Black better than Fnatic, right? And obviously they're, like, the mechanical, like, decisions and decision-making, like, a lot of it fundamentally just comes down to Fog of War, right? And how well you out-mind game the opponent, right? Where you make the opponent think you're somewhere and then you're not there. Like, that is, high level Heroes of the Storm. It's just comes down to Fog of War, right? And sitting in bushes and being where your opponent doesn't expect you to be, because that's where you capitalize. And like I said, dictating the pace of the game, because if you're in that bush and the enemy doesn't expect it, you're, you know, dictating the pace of the game where they have to now respond to you being somewhere where they didn't think you were. So that's you know, I'm excited to see it, man. I love when tanks are constantly in bushes, constantly off the map. And yeah, it looks like Sky Temple is going to be our first map, though. I don't know if we mentioned that. It was picked by OMS. So, and that is Oh My Science, for those of you who don't know. So that is going to be Dark Chimera, Battery, Seru, Troy, and Hacho, the 5-man Mosh ETC champion.
Jesus.
You know, as I like to call him.
Yo, his ETC play was legit. No, I also love Sky Temple. And I'm gonna give my Sky Temple talk that I give every time we have a game of Sky Temple. But it's been a while since I've casted. For those who haven't heard my Sky Temple rant, there we are. It's not a rant per se. It's the reason why I love this map. And the reason why I love Sky Temple is because, in my opinion, it is the map whose map objectives least impact the draft. We can conceivably see a huge amount of variability when it comes to drafts. We can see heavy push comps. We can see full pick rotation comps. We can see massive global. We can see really weird rotations, burst comps. We can see literally anything on this, and it really doesn't matter. Everything conceivably is viable on Sky Temple, because at the end of the day, you just need to be able to team fight, or don't, and go rush their core with medevac and sanctification. We've seen everything here. So that's why I'm excited to see this map more. I feel like it sort of fell out of favor for a while. Can you go talk about that for a bit? Because obviously it's interesting talking to the pros and like what comes in and out of whatever with scrims and map picks and stuff. What happened to Sky Temple? Well, you suddenly just stopped seeing as much. Was that like, especially in NA, I noticed. Am I crazy? You're muted as well. You're muted.
Sorry, I was typing and I didn't want you guys to hear my loud keyboard. So us GFE, we banned it for a little while because it wasn't one of our better maps. I think when globals were like really, really strong, I think that's when people kind of start playing the map, because it became so generally when maps go out of flavor, it's generally when it becomes a really bad map from second pick, right? Where first pick is just so absolutely just overpowered, where you cannot win from second pick. So I think when globals were really meta, where essentially the global race, they got 2, you got 1, that's when Sky Temple kind of followed a meta, because Bribing wasn't that good, and they'd end up getting like more good globals than you would with their first 3 picks. So I think that's when it happened. I don't remember 100%, but generally that's like if a map stops being played, that's what is basically happening. There's something happening in the meta. There's something happening in like draft compositions where first pick is just crazy strong. And it looks like we are going to get a Garrosh first ban. I like this. The hero seems crazy good. It is interesting though, because I feel like a lot of teams have been first banning the Garrosh. So I wonder why they're like what do they find better than a first pick Garrosh? I know the last team first picked the ETC, so maybe that's just a preference thing where their tank isn't that strong on Garrosh, and they're like, hey, we still don't want to play versus it, but we can't really pick it. So they are going to ban the Garrosh. I think it was this team last time where they first picked the ETC. I would be interested to see what happens. I'm curious to see the ban. Maybe I'd like to see something. I mean, Malthael was the last couple bans. I could see something like an ETC take away a tank as well. I mean, they banned the Garrosh, so you can ban anything.
There's a lot of options. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tassadar still, some people consider him to be like busted. I'm still up in the air. Brightwing is the other one that everyone's raving about right now. As a support main who played a ton of Brightwing, man, I'm so happy. Brightwing's first ban. My baby. She's back. She's back. And I love it. I get to play Brightwing again in Hero League and not get flamed. Feels good, man. But yes, they're denying that out here. Looking at the first pick, God, there's a lot of fantastic options here. I'm still in favor of grabbing like just one stall global, like Dahaka. We saw how good the Dahaka was in that last game, but they opt to go for the Lucio. Already jumping on the support contention. First pick Lucio here. I don't hate it. He's good. He's good on rotations. He's good on these long drawn out team fights over.
He's a really strong team fight hero. Yeah, I like this kind of just screams to me that they're gonna go pretty much the full team fight. You know, and since the Brightwing is banned, they don't have to be that afraid of, you know, just getting globaled. So I wouldn't expect to see 2 globals coming out here by OMS, but I mean, it could happen. But more likely, I would expect them probably go like Dahaka +1, and then Savage Gaming can pick up the fall stat if they want a global to match, or even Abathur's an option, or there's you don't always need a global on this map. So I like the Lucio. It's a really strong double support. My guess is Greymane Murden is going to be the pick. This is just a really solid opening that really doesn't show much. A good draft in the first 5 picks of the draft, right? So Lucio was the first pick, these 2 picks, and then the next 2 picks. Those are the first 5 picks. Both teams shouldn't really show that much of what they're going to do, right? Their comp should be flexible. You can run a Murden Greymane, you can run a blow up comp, you can run a double support comp, you can run a lot of different things. You can run a Rhaegar, run them around, counter push comp. So really solid 1-2 just because it doesn't show anything, right? So when Savage Gaming is banning, they're like, okay, they have a lot of options. Which one are we the most afraid of? So I think it's solid. Yeah, they take the Tyrael here as well. So Tyrael Lucio.
I don't mind, especially because it's also a strong denial. If they want to run double warrior, Tyrael, a strong pairing with Greymane. We've seen it tried and true. Watching all the MVP back in the day, supporting Dami on that Greymane with those 6 Sanks, like that is the quintessential pairing that we used to see with that. But the Ariel coming in once again, but not showing, as you said, what they're going to use as that battery. And I like that. I also like the fact, not battery.
I get it. I had that hope generator.
You got it. But also like the fact that Ariel now she's much more self-sufficient in that regard. She actually can generate a decent amount of hope herself. I like having that option as well. But no, I agree. Really, not a whole lot is shown from these first 5 picks. You can tell we've taken a step up in terms of drafting. Neither team is goofing around. Both teams have pride on the line. I would not expect to see too much insanity here. Probably something a little bit wonky, but nothing too far outside the meta.
It's a good ban, the Cassia ban. I mean, Savage Gaming's comp looks so scary when it comes to the 5v5 fades. You have the Sanctification, you have the Sound Oriole, pretty much a guaranteed solid generator. You're going to get Vala, you're going to get Gul'dan, you're going to get something. And they're going to have so much healing, so much saving potential on their side that honestly, I would kind of love OMS to just go Abathur, right? The way that you counter a really good team fight double support comp is you force them to not be 5v5. You don't take those 5v5 engages. Or if you are taking those engages, you're taking it when it's level 13 to level 11, right? When you have a talent tier advantage, you have something in your favor, whether that be like a good position. But I mean, Abathur Gaming is really strong on this map. It allows a lot of trade potential. And if you split their comp up, they don't even look that strong right now. So I would like them to go Abathur +1. I wouldn't be surprised if they go double support. My only issue with double support is I think you have the losing double support. So essentially, yes, you're playing a good style. Double support is strong, but you're playing the losing of the good style. So I'm interested to see what they go into here. They do go the Abathur. I love it. So they go Abathur Monk. So this is pretty much a 5 comp. Really strong, right? They can really blow up on you. I think it is kind of scary if Savage Gaming do go Vala here. Vala is very vulnerable to the Monk double Greymane. We're going to need really clutch Sanctifications, Aegis, sound barriers coming out by Savage Gaming. So something I'd like to know is I feel like OMS has the comp that is going to dictate the pace of the game, or they should, right? You have the comp that pushes much better. You have the Greymane, you have the Monk, you have the Abathur hat. They should be 4-man running around, pushing into walls, and forcing Savage Gaming to respond to them. So I actually really like Oh My Science's draft. That being said, Savage Gaming has a really strong 5v5 comp, and they do go for the Lunara. I actually kind of hate this pick.
Yeah, they need a little bit more wave clear, and Lunara is going to do okay with that, but not offer, I think, enough. My other issue, so there's a lot of potential to screw up if you're Savage Gaming. There's a lot of potential to accidentally cast Crystal Aegis, Sanctification, and Sound Barrier all at once.
Yeah.
That's it's called anti-synergy, and there's the Dahaka, the Brewster to round this out. That's giving them a little bit more wave clear. I think is fine. But that being said, yeah, if they play it well, I feel like they have the potential to just completely negate anything thrown at them. If they can cycle Sanctification with Sound Barrier, with Aegis, with Burrow, with Leaping Strikes, or whatever have you, they won't die. They shouldn't die. There's literally you can throw double Greymane, Murden, 7-sided strike at them, and they're like, I'm totally fine. And I think they need like a Leeming or they need they just need to fully commit at this point. I want more kill potential. Let's go. Let's not mess around. Let's go wreck face.
Maybe even push. Or maybe something like a Sonya with Leap, I actually think could be really strong. It brings a lot of... It's like my issue with the Lunara is, I mean, it's like fundamentally like these comps come down to where you basically have one damage dealer, right? So your Lunara is your main damage. Illidan, I don't mind this pick. I have a big Illidan lover. This is like probably the hero that I'm most known for, right? Illidan. And I hope they play it in a split push style. I really do. I don't know how Savage Gaming will respond to this split pushing composition of Oh My Science. Like, what do you do? How Illidan with an Abathur hat is going to dumpster on this Dahaka. Absolutely destroy him. And they're going to have to send someone to like help him. Who's it going to be? Lucio? Okay, then you have a Lucio Dahaka. Okay, then you just have your Muradin, Greymane, and Monk jump onto the Lunara when she has no Lucio to speed her out. So like I really like the composition coming out by Oh My Science. That being said, they need to have really clean, really crisp rotations coming out where they really out-rotate the opponent, because if they take the 5v5s, they're going to get destroyed. They need to be a talent tier up. They need to have, you know, some big advantage to win these 5v5s. So I think a lot of it is going to come down to how well Oh My Science rotates, as well as, you know, how well does Kevin play, right? Because he's the Lunara. He is pretty much all of their damage. He needs to not get really, really hurt, right? If he's out of position, they just lose. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And we'll introduce these teams, and I'll follow up a question from the chat here in just a second. But on the left-hand side of the Blue Trunks, it is Oh My Science. We have Hot Show playing Murden, Battery on Greymane, Serio on Illidan, Dark Chimera on Karazim, and Troy playing out there. I got the right team right. I'm totally, that was correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think so. I don't know who's on what side here. We're going to hope I'm correct.
Yeah, you are correct. And then on the right, we have in the red, Savage Gaming, Kevin playing the Lunaro, Yuri playing the Lucio, Day Creeper on the Tyrael, Toby on the Oreo, going to keep his brother alive, and Droplets playing that Dahaka. So someone asked what battery would have been good. I mean, Lunara is not, like, she's okay, right? So I was a little overspoken. She's okay here. I think she's better than Vala, but personally, I think something like Gul'dan, where you have that self-peel of fear, right? As well as you get Healthstone at 13. You get these self-peel abilities, I feel like is a lot better, as well as his damage, in my opinion, is just easier to hit. Like Lunara is auto attack, like half auto attack based, which isn't that good into the Greymane that has armor as well as evasion. Granted, they didn't know Illidan was coming, but I definitely just feel like Gul'dan can do a lot more pressure. It looks like Lucio actually is going to take a lot of... Okay, he is all right here. Battery jumps in and then instantly leaves. But look at this top lane. Look at Dahaka. He's getting bullied so hard by this Illidan with an Abathur. Half a tower has already fallen to just one hero. Look, both those towers are almost out of ammo. Just, you know, like, that guy is going to have a rough time all game.
Yeah, Serio is so confident against Droplets up here in the top lane. Droplets has to be careful to hit the burrow up. Oh, the pull! The strict outplay from Droplets. Serio, as I'm complimenting him, he makes me look silly. The engagement in the bot lane as well. Lunar taking a lot of damage to this Horrible as well. And nicely done, though. Securing that takedown is the side of Oh My Science. Day Creeper, one more. Woo! The shield that's there barely in time to secure. This is the game of skill already. Oh, the shot from the Abathur, not quite there. But already we are seeing more skill plays than we have. I think, you know, this is just a joy to watch.
Murrow with the engage actually misses the Stormbolt. Trying to get that Lucio, though. He has here, man. It looks like it is just going to be 3 people here. 4 people. Dahaka might look for the Boro behind on this mid lane. Yes, he is. Looks like they are going to go really hard onto this mid lane. Okay, the tongue does miss. Are they still going to be able to get Muradin, though? He's really low. He's just taking damage from Kevin. Okay, no, he is going to survive. They are going to secure these shots, but this is actually so bad for Savage Gaming, because look at Illidan up in this top lane. Look at Abathur in this bottom, and they're soaking so much, all while getting a full temple and contesting mid. This is the power of the global that they have with the Illidan Abathur. They're just able to, you know, split Savage Gaming up and outplay them on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really taking every advantage they can in this early game. They're looking to play around 10. The other thing I really want to talk about is, of course, Abathur in the early game, you're going to get lots of advantage in terms of experience. But at level 10, when that clone comes online, that's really when your composition comes online. So really looking for that as well coming out for Oh My Science. That being said, the Invade is coming in here on the side of Savage Game, looking to go in on this game. I like this calculated aggression, knowing they have that slight advantage in the early game. Illidan is not here. This is a great call. They're going to come in, secure this as a squad. Little victories. these are how you keep yourself in this game.
Yeah, really smart Invade call coming out by Savage Gaming. Hey, we in the top lane, Illidan is just maybe he kills this Dahaka as well. If Dahaka doesn't have Essence, he actually just might be dead right here. Looks like Seiryu is okay, he does have Essence, but they do end up getting the 4. It looks like Savage Gaming is pushing down mid though. I would like to see them force down this 4, right? Abathur is going to go Mule at 7. He should. I hope he does. So all of these structures that you see this mid 4 is at half HP. If it doesn't get finished, it's going to go right back up to 100%. Looks like they are just going to back off and take out their sieges, the Lunara and the Oreo. Illidan is going to be starting their Knights. Timing wise, I think he could have held off another like 10 seconds, but this isn't bad. I'm curious to see if he holds the cap when the bottom temple spawns. I'd like to honestly see him just instantly cap him and just push top. Like, there's no reason to go down and fight the bottom. Try and never give them a 5v5. Constantly be pushing and dictating the pace of the game. Be pushing on the opposite side of the map, forcing objectives, forcing the enemy team to respond, which is what Savage Gaming is doing right now, pushing the middle lane down.
Yeah, they're really going in hard here. But Hacho and Dark Chimera are doing a pretty good job defending as his mid fort starts to crumble. That Mule getting a lot of value. That being said, Tyrael is getting forced out right now. Hacho securing that nice rumble. Day Creeper is going to drop nicely done, but Seiryu once more as the damage is going to come in from that Tyrael. Only really hitting on the bird. It's not the ideal target. His battery's rotating as well, but they still are going on this. Hacho just getting some stickety stacks there on his Stormbolt there. Just for good measure. Down in the bot lane, Abathur is trying to do his best here to soak through this, but Seiryu is always just such a threatening presence on the map, and that'll be only increase as level 10 is hit. I imagine we're going to see the hunts to go for full global insanity here. If we can lock down one of these supports, that's huge. Especially keep in mind there is no cleanse. Do I have to preemptively burn Aegis to stop it? I mean, that's a legitimate option that Itobi's faced with, and it's not obviously an ideal one. So let's see what happens here as a full level lead 5 minutes into the game is his next temple spawn. Michael, this is where things are going to get interesting.
Yeah, it looks like Oh My Science actually does want to contest this, have a stronger team fight right here. Kevin actually getting jumped up by the battery as well. Is Kevin going to fall? He is. Drop leg coming in a little delayed though. They may actually be able to turn this fight if he gets the tug on the Illidan and he pulls him into the Asian is down. Okay, Seiryu does get the Q out. Hacho 1 HP in the back. Day Creeper is going on and the Murden stun, saving his life in Verum.
That's absolutely true. I cannot believe that no one has fallen on the side of Oh My Science. She's getting a lot of value. They're going back in, having tapped the wall. They're trying to secure this takedown on the Day Creeper. Can they do with the hat on the Illidan? Seiryu is being an absolute fiend, but the boot pushing him back is massive. And yes, indeed, Mike, I just see these team fights. Maybe lean forward a little bit into your mic because you're cutting out just a teensy bit there, and I want the community to make sure that they can absolutely hear you. That being said, Lucio's dead.
Lucio's dead. That's 10.
Oh, so is Droplets. Oh, God.
Oh man, level 10 happening for OMS. This should be a boss. This should be, look at this. They have top Knight pressure getting the top wall as well. They are going to take the boss. Hunt coming out, go for the throat coming out, Avatar, Ultimate Evolution. Monk is holding his talent. But I expect to see Palm. Actually, I'm not sure.
I think it's Palm for the Illidan of the Greymane here.
Yeah.
Seven-sided strike would be nice, but it's just probably going to get gated. Okay.
Is it seven-sided? It looks like he said who needs to live when we got big damage. I like to see it. Looks like they are going to push the mid fort off of this. I like this. Basically what they're trying to do is just maximize their experience, maximize their lead. Honestly, I'd love to see them take this wall and just dive the fort. You have level 10. Just get an ultimate Evo of Illidan, have him dive the fort first and say, hey, we have level 10 advantage. You're posturing on the map, but we have 10. You're maniacs. Which they are doing. They're pressuring.
They're doing this exactly correct. They're like, we have the best talent here in the game. We should probably do something with it. And the defense is honestly holding quite strong. That being said, this boss does have to be dealt with. It's not too big of a deal here. It's in the early game. It's going to soak up some tower shots, but, there are worse things in the world going on right now. Level 10 is just around the corner here. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of big heroics coming out on the side of Savage Gaming. This team is going to totally turn around, but this is what you predicted in the draft. They need to be up like a couple levels here, which is exactly the situation they're looking at. So, like you said, this is the exact situation that Oh My Science needed to find themselves in.
That being said, Oh My Science, they have not shied away from taking 5v5 team fights, which honestly scares me. I think from this point they should just play the map perfectly, right? And it looks like they are going to look for the invade down here on the sieges, which is going to work out for them since Oreo and Lunara are not there. But they want to play the map. They should look to play the map, and they keep going for the team fights. Fight is going to erupt over the siege. Sound barrier and sanctification coming out. Isolation onto the Grey Main. It looks like Monk is going to get blown up. Hunt coming in. Serio jumping onto Lunara. Murden is just jumping out with 1 HP. Tyrael is going to fall, but he's going to explode. Look at the Grey Main Clo jumping onto the Lucio. Battery is going to die here as well in Verum.
One more auto will secure that takedown. Beautifully done. A slight misclick there, I think, on that Crystal Aegis, but either way, beautifully done. Or actually came through and saved him with that adaptation. One way or the other there. Beautifully done. And that's what happened. A slight overlap with the Sanctification and that Sound Barrier, but other than that, a near flawless fight coming out there for Savage Gaming, and they're then able to rotate that. That being said, though, it still was not nearly as bad as it could have been. Abathur was still able to split soak during that, and they're still getting a temple on that side. So despite the fact that they're down the talent tier, they're looking in pretty good shape. As you said, we didn't expect them to take the fights, but they did. And I think the later this game goes on, the more of a mistake that's going to be.
Yeah, they are so far ahead in structures right now that they could just trade forever. You know, they have the mule. Every single time they trade, it is a winning trade, right? Trading a fort for half a fort is almost always better. And the reason you'll have that advantage is because you have the mule. I'd like to see them just hit the 16 talent tier here and then maybe take a fight. But do not take a fight before you get level 16. It looks like Illidan and Murden are posturing around in the bottom lane, looking for a gank onto the Dahaka. I like this line of play. This is what I want to see. Not trying to take the 5v5, trying to pick off their solo laner. Itobi hits a mine. Are they going to hunt Monk rotating? In Verum, Itobi is, he's almost dead, man.
He's full health, but he's almost gone. He's unfortunately, Dark Hair Bear walked into the Wisp, so not quite in the best position to secure that takedown. And now backing up, getting the Bruiser camps is the side of Savage Gaming. Seiryu and Droplets having the funnest little tango, little salsa, little Highland dance down there in the bot lane. But I just love how respectful both teams are playing this. Both realize that one pick as the next temples are about to spawn, and if they go in down that body, that could literally be the beginning of the end for this game. That one takedown at this stage, at this level, can win or lose you the whole match.
Yeah, and it does look like Boss is going to be respawning in 1 minute. So, Oh My Science will have level 16 by the time that happens. Really smart play coming out by Gaming, invading the sieges here. This is what they need to happen. They need to force Oh My Science to either give up objectives or, you know, like before level 16, they need to push down this bottom fort. You need to force the enemy team to respond to you. Or essentially they give up a free fort. And it looks like there's a little bit of indecision coming out by Savage Gaming. Okay, they are going to push down here in the bot lane. I like this decision. Smart by Oh My Science, just, you know, saying Illidan will just go get the knights. He'll clear out 10. We'll hit level 16. If we give you a fort, who cares, right? Basically, all that's going to happen, it looks like, is that they're going to get a wall. Then they'll hit 16, and then they'll look to force a talent tier. Really smart play coming out by Oh My Savage, or Oh My Science.
Oh My Savage, indeed. I'm kind of surprised that Savage Gaming didn't look to force this a little bit harder before level 16 was reached, considering they are the strong team fight team. I am surprised. But that being said, Hot Show's like, all right, we hit the button. Let's go. The sun's coming in there. ID Kevin nicely done. There's the beautiful counter and the follow-up there as well. The sanctification, a lot of stacking of ultimates, though. And this is all the protection of it. Seriously, a lot of damage to this back to this. And he walk in to survive. And the hat is keeping him alive just for 1 second longer. No, he's going to fall. Hot Show as well as in real deeper. Now the whole team is going on the pursuit there. This Lucio speed is doing so much damage to them as well. Getting a lot of value. Speed was coming in as well. That the Dwarf Toss isn't going to be enough for the hat. I think it will be just barely. How did Murden survive? He is so tough to kill.
Is Savage Gaming going to go to the boss off of this? Let's see. It looks like they aren't going to. It looks like they're just going to take their win. But that's the thing. Oh My Science had a 16 talent tier, and they just couldn't kill anyone. You know, a pretty good Aegis comes out. Yes, they did overlap the sound barrier with the Aegis, but Aegis comes out, and then they sanctification out of it, and no one can die. Honestly, like, I really feel like Oh My Science needs to rethink their game plan at this point. They have a good comp. They are still ahead. They are still so far ahead in structures. Just don't fight the enemy team. All you have to do is trade and you win the game. That's it. The enemy team goes top temple, you go bot temple. The enemy team goes boss, you go take top keep. It really is a game of cat and mouse that they should be looking to play at this point. Lucio is actually in a really risky position here. It looks like Hot Show is going to jump on him. Can he hit the Murden stun? Okay, it does miss. Nice try coming out by Oh My Science, though.
That was a good juke. That was a solid boop, a solid move. Like, that was really predicting where that Stormbolt was going to go. Nicely done there from the Lucio player. And I have to say, if just for future team fights, I really want to see the Sank out of the Aegis. That way you definitely get the value off the back of that with the sound barrier. Because obviously sound barrier doesn't cast on you if you're in that Crystal Aegis. So fun little interaction there, looking at how all these save. Honestly, I'm going to call this draft like the saving grace, because this is really what this team is all about, the ability to get yourself or your teammates out of sticky situations. That being said, Seryu is in a bit of a sticky situation as that holy ground comes in, and Battery has found himself on the wrong side of the law. Michael, they're going in.
Yeah, Greymane Clone actually is in the back, absolutely hitting on eToby here. He might have to himself to survive. Yeah, okay, it looks like he is going to be all right. I would love, boss, you got one pick. You need to take this ball off the map. Honestly, call me insane here, but I would love to see them just push bottom with this boss. Try and end the game. Your 5v5 is so good, and the enemy team has such poor clear. They have a Monk solo heal, and their Greymane is their only clear. Oh My Science are insane if they try and contest this. It looks like they are just going to posture around, let their Illidan push in the top lane. Smart rotation coming out by Seryu, recognizing, all right, that boss is gone. I'm just going to, trade, take the top keep instead. Smart play coming out by him. I actually would like to see him just stay, go for the core. Yep, okay, he is going to, forcing the backs coming out, forcing the backs of Oh My Science. It looks like Droplets is going to go back, but they might need Hot Show actually might die here. I didn't see what happened there, but it looked like he might have been a little bit out of position in Verum, or not a little bit, he was out of position in Verum.
Absolutely. I mean, that is actually a crucial. See, that's 46 seconds without their tank. They needed that defense. That being said, Seryu and Droplets had a contest of strength at the start of this game, and Droplets kind of embarrassed him. And that being said, finally forcing the back. Seryu is managing to solo, I say solo, with the Abathur hat down, and he's actually going to die. That was the wrong minion to jump through. Should have gone to the bot lane, buddy. But that being said, Seryu is going to survive, barely getting out of this, doing 47% core damage with that Abba hat. Damn impressive. That being said, I think this keep is going to go. No, they're going to save it. That's actually incredibly impressive. Maybe not. Daykeeper's going to go in and secure this last. Okay. No way. With the siege, they are going to get it nicely done there as well. So getting some further trade off the back with the Hawk 18-18. The experience is exactly even. Dark Chimera still chasing this in though, and Seryu looking for that potential engage. I have to say, his Illidan play super impressive. I love. He's just pure aggro.
Yeah, he's been playing really well. Really smart decision of him rotating to that top keep and taking the boss or taking the core to 53%. That actually probably saved his team from losing the game, in my opinion. I feel like the enemy team could have just 5-man pushed with that boss. Their team fight is so strong that they might have been able to end the game, but instead they forced 2 heroes on the opponents to back. Are they gonna peel off of these shots? It looks like they are gonna go for the Knights. I mean, I like this, recognizing that our team fight is so much better than theirs. We shouldn't give them anything for free. We should force them to almost always have to fight us if they ever want to get anything, any merc on the camp, or any mercenary on the map. They have to fight us. It looks like Battery, okay, Battery is going to be safe here. I thought he was a little out of position there, though.
Absolutely. You should make them fight for every inch of ground gained. You want to make it like pulling teeth every single engage, and I love it. Level 20 is just around the corner for both sides. These Storm talent tiers are going to be big. Are we going to see that holy arena, that additional damage coming out? I think that will be absolutely sick to see. Also, one of my favorite ability names in the entire game, along with Divine Hurricane, because that's just sick. Level 20 is going to be here for both squads as these next temple spawn, though it might actually be that solo temple coming up, depending on how RNG seems to sit with us here. So we'll see how that goes. 2 minutes on this boss respawn, and this is where things get interesting. One team fight, one pick, one engage, and this whole game can be over. This has been a serious competition of the highest order here in Game 1 of the HeroesHype Grand Finals. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, let's just recognize how far Savage Gaming has come back. They hit level 20. Are they going core right now? They hit level 20 first. Right? They were down almost 3 levels earlier in the game. I love this play. I love this play coming out by Savage Gaming, forcing the enemy opponent. Yeah, okay, please commit. You're doing the right thing. You're forcing the enemy opponent to come fight you 5v5. If you let the temple spawn, it is going to be terrible for you. But they just get cold feet. I mean, ultimately the decision to come down here and force the enemy team to respond in their bases, right? But they are going to back off here. It looks like they most likely will just take the sieges. They're going to need to send someone else back to help the Dahaka defend the core, though.
Yeah, this is big. I mean, Droplets is doing a pretty good job here, but Seiryu with the hat hits like an absolute truck. The isolation essence is forced to be popped here, but Seiryu does not. He's like, wait, I can still auto attack here, guys. Let's do this. Pulling him into the tower, the follow-up. Seiryu, what a skill matchup here between Droplets and Seiryu. These two have been going at it all game long. Hot to the bot lane, though. That Ernan's going in, though, as well. Seiryu here onto the core. The fight's happening on two fronts right now. Seryu's trying to make this happen down to the bot lane. The fight is somewhat happening as well, but this is an absolute back and forth ball. Kind of wish we could see what's happening in the bot lane as well here, as Seiryu is running for dear life. Seiryu, there we go. The damage down here, they're trying to get out alive as Illidan is going to survive, though. The follow-up, the stun here will land on Itobi with the double support. Just too much to deal with. Here, wait, the Hodge is coming in. The beautiful sanctification, 9 the damage to start this off so far. Savage Gaming surviving through the Dark Mirrors with a lot of himself and Shrunk going down. The Clone is will taking a lot of damage. Hachu as well. He doesn't have that avatar anymore, but the beautiful Ariel. Oh man, the heals are just too much and they are falling apart, Mike. Seiryu, I don't think it's gonna be enough. Savage Gaming looks like they might take this.
That sanctification coming out by Day Creeper, stopping the stun, stopping the damage from the hunt. Beautiful. It's game-saving sanctification there. If they hit that hunt and they blow up one person, that game is over. Their core is at 54%. It does look like battery is going to get isolated and tongue and fall. Devastating game, honestly. So sad for Oh My Science. They played this game beautifully early to mid-game. They had such good rotations. And it all crumbled at the late game. I mean, amazing comeback with Savage Gaming, but that has to hurt if you're Oh My Science. They mentally, you know, I've been in that position. You know, I mentally have been in that position with that like exact same comp where you're ahead all early game, all mid game, and then you lose it at the end because you take a poor fight, and it hurts, man. I really want to see how they rally, how as a team, you know, what is their mentality? Are they mentally strong? Are they able to rally and band together? Because very easily it could turn into, you know, you messed up this thing and then the team kind of falls apart. I really am interested to see what happens here. You know, because I feel like they had the winning draft. I feel like they played that game so well. If they just played a tiny bit better, that game was theirs. But I cannot emphasize it much. Day Creeper's sanctification at the end, dude. That was so beautiful.
That was sick. It was absolutely sick. And yeah, it's literally a situation of like a team that has an insane level 10, getting level 10, and then being allowed to play their game. There was, yeah, you said it before repeatedly, there is never a situation where you take a 5v5 fight if you're Oh My Science. And they decided to try their luck right after level 10 was reached, and they paid for it dearly. That was what allowed the comeback to begin, and then it never ended, despite Seiryu's sick on the core plays, the jukes, all that good stuff. The ABBA play. Let's talk about the ABBA play here a bit too. That hat was everywhere it needed to be. Top tier.
Hey, top siege damage, top hero damage, top XP for his whole team. Yeah, this no deaths too. That's a really good Abathur play coming out by Troy. Man, that game, really good back and forth coming out by both teams. I mean, you show the result of Savage Gaming, right? You're down the entire time. Your back's against the wall the entire game. And you find the will to win. You find that clutch moment to bring it back for your team. You know, and then the other side, you see OMS just playing beautifully throughout the mid and early game and just make that one hiccup. You know, that's not even like a hiccup, but there's that one little flawed mentality where like, okay, we can win team fights when if you just play the map, you win the game. And you know, they started to adapt and do it later on. And I think if they did it a little sooner, you know, had Illidan just split pushing top a little sooner, it would have been theirs. It would have been really difficult for a Savage to come back, man. I can't wait to see what game 2 holds for us.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the individual skill plays. I mean, just watching the dynamic between Droplets and Seiryu was phenomenal. These are two GM level players just saying, all right, I'm a style right back. And I love seeing that kind of stuff because we don't often enough get to see in Heroes just really cool 1v1 interactions, 1v1 matchups like that. True. I mean, obviously in games like League and games like Dota, those 1v1 matchups are huge. We always talk about what hero has win rate against what, who was mid laners against, you know, top laners, whatever, you know, if you're talking League. But we don't really often get to see that in Heroes as much. And I love seeing those raw mechanical moments. It's just something we see every day. So the more that kind of stuff just trying to shake stuff up. Obviously, Heroes is team game. I love seeing it. And we're going to Towers of Doom for game number 2. This is a map we've seen a lot recently. Give me your thoughts on TOD.
I feel like, I mean, the map is really interesting, right? Because like taking forts doesn't really, like it matters, but it doesn't really matter, especially top and mid fort. It doesn't do that much. Like outside of getting experience, it's not like a win condition, right? Like on any other map, you get a fort, you just opened up a win condition, because then if you win another team fight, you can get the keep. And then the next team fight you win the game. So on Towers of Doom, it's interesting, right? Because you can win all the team fights and still lose the game. You could win every team fight the entire game, but if you don't get any of the caps, you lose the game. So this map is very centered around the bottom lane. And the reason for that is because there are 6 pumpkins that can be pushed in through bottom. I'm not sure what they're called. I call them pumpkins, the little sapper guys.
Sappers. You got
pumpkin
it.
Sappers. So expect the teams to fight a lot around bottom. And the nature of the map is really cool because it really empowers Garrosh and Stitches, because a gorge or a flip into that dead zone is just a GG. Or there are a lot of walls where if you get, I expect to see Medivh Stitches or Medivh. If I don't know if these teams play Medivh, but Medivh is a really solid pick on this map with Garrosh and Stitches, just because the nature of the map, there's a lot of walls where you can, portal over to the other side of the wall, and it's like very far away, which allows you to just like one shot the enemy hero and just catch people out of position. I like this map as a whole. I think it makes for really exciting times because you can be down 30 shots and still be in the game because it's a 16-16 team fight. So I like the map as a whole. I think it's really cool. What about you, man? Do you enjoy watching Towers of Doom?
It's an interesting map. When I first came out, I didn't like it for the sole reason that we couldn't have those epic core races. You know what I mean? I didn't like the idea that there wasn't a point where a team could throw on core, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. I just found from a casting perspective, just watching the shots raining at the end was kind of boring.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that was, it's grown on me though, just because of the depth of strategy you see on it, and also the fact that the way they changed it with the three spawns on 1 and 5 really allows for the early game to have more value, because before it was pretty much guaranteed to go late game, which means that you could just draft strong late game comps and not care.
Yeah.
And like before 12 minutes, it's like you're actually, helping your opponents by taking forts too early, because they get more experience with a slingshot, taking them back in the later game because the way XP scaling works. So there's so many weird little dynamics that happen on this map that don't happen anywhere else. But heroes like I love Sylph. I've always loved Sylph. I think she's got some really cool stuff. She actually, I think, despite the fact that like, oh, well, she only has so many sports and whatever to shut down, you can do some really cool stuff with like cheesing bot lane with her, and we've seen some really cool strats. So overall, it's definitely grown on me. I wouldn't say it's my favorite map, but I love the aesthetic of it, among other things. So I'm down to see what these teams can do with it.
Yeah, and we will get the first ban Garrosh again coming out of Savage Gaming. I feel like every single time we've cast them, they've banned the Garrosh first ban. That kind of hints to me that their tank doesn't like it, or they're not comfortable having their tank on Garrosh. I mean, maybe that's just me searching, but that's kind of what it screams to me, because a lot of teams ban that hero, and they do ban the Lucio. All right, I like this play coming out by Oh My Science. They lost the Lucio last game, so they banned it this game. First pick Brightwing coming out by Savage Gaming. I love this hero. I feel like Brightwing, we've talked about it all cast. Yeah, it just is such a strong healer and has that global, which is so important on this map. This is screaming double sport to me. Almost 300% positive that Savage Gaming is going to pick up a second support. I mean, look to see them do something very similar to last game, picking a very strong 5v5 team comp. If it worked last game, yeah, it wasn't perfect. Yeah, we were kind of down most of the game, but they still pulled it out. So I'd expect them to do something very similar in the draft.
Yeah, I would agree. I think double support is pretty much a must at this point. I think for both squads, I would look to prioritize that. Task Tracer. All right. Our first task-based comp picked up here. I think picked up early because I don't necessarily think this wouldn't have been a contested pick, but now we can start to look at that contention. So Varian is now a possibility as well with that taunt coming in. ETC is another potential pick to look at as well. I think into that Garrosh ban, denying one of the taunts, let's jump into it. I think this is totally a great pickup here.
Yeah, I mean, Task Tracer, the Task just enables Tracer really well, allowing her to get in there and kill backliners safely, right? Because she can blink out, she can recall. It's always been a very strong pick and competitive that you kind of have to respect. I like the Cassia follow-up. It's a safe carry, which is pretty rare. Someone like Vala just gets one shot by Tracer, whereas Cassia has that armor, which stops damage taken from the Tracer's auto attacks. I would expect to see a second support picked here. Okay, they do go the Tyrael. Yeah, so it's going to be pretty much a same comp as last time, except like I expect to be a very similar comp as last time. I expect to see them pick up an Oriole later on, unless Oh My Science either bans or picks the Oriole. Maybe something like Uther or Rhaegar could be okay. They banned the Oriole. I like this adaptation by Oh My Science, saying, okay, you beat us with this last game, we don't want to play versus it again, so they banned that. Really good decision. Rhaegar ban as well. Wow, really?
Look at the support
choke. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So medics left on the board. Stukov, Uther. All right. Yeah, there's definitely some options. Are we going to see Lily? Is now her time to shine?
It could. I actually, now that you say that, I actually think Savage Game blinds are really good into Tracer, as well as blinding combos really well with Cassia. It gives her more damage and it gives you a cleanse. I actually think Lily is going to be the pick. There's this huge healer choke. I think Lily is the pick for Savage Gaming. The hype is now. The moment is now.
I think so too. I think we're going to see it. No Lily hype. Serpent build, please. Serpent build with Cassia is actually going to be dumb. I mean, I imagine they're going to go blind build, so we're not going to see it this game. But also, it's pretty cool. I just love Serpent build in general. I think it's the funnest thing ever. Malthael ATC. I think it's actually really interesting to pick the Malthael here. Obviously, it's a great solo liner, but like I don't feel like we're going to see too much of a heavy melee composition at all coming out. You know, which is where Malthael traditionally thrives. But I think Lily and Varian would be my last two picks up here for Savage Gaming. I think having the taunt will go a long way. That protect against the Tracer as well. Get all those resets on that shield wall. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's lock her down. The only problem with this is we really don't have any stopping for the mosh pit. That's
I mean, you have Brightwing,
Polly, and Sank, kinda.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I actually do really like the Varian Lily. It is another comp where you really need level 10, but the nature of the map, and they proved last game that they can win with comps where you have to hit level 10. I feel like that'll be a crazy strong team fight comp. Once again, I think Oh My Science is going to be in a really tough spot to win team fights post 10. I mean, I do like the Malthael pick, and I don't think it'll struggle, just because Murky.
We were not even close.
Merc Lord?
So far from close. Wow. I don't think I could have been more wrong.
So who's left? Rhaegar and Monk.
Banned. Monk.
I mean, I used to experiment with Murky. I mean, I think Murky is actually a really good solo laner. They also have the Octo grab, and they're not going to have a cleanse until level 16. So I mean, I guess they're looking for the Octo one shot onto the Tracer. It can work. Murky's a really strong double soaker, so I don't think this is a troll pick. Like I actually think my team used to experiment with Murky on this map because he has a really good double soaker, and double soak is so important on this map where you allow your 4-man to just run it down bottom, and I think I'm down for the pick. Like I almost always like these unconventional picks because it proves to me that they have something in mind, they've practiced it, they've tried it, and they've obviously had success with it. So Stukov as the last pick means no cleanse, period. Octo grab means someone is CC'd for like 3 seconds unless that Murky dies. So I think it will be Octo grab. I mean, maybe this is Judgment plus Octo. Like it's just full one-shot Divine Storm. Oh, no. You can use Judgment plus Emerald. Like you have Brightwing TP onto the Tyrael, Judgment, Emerald Wind, split them up. Maybe that's me reaching. I'm interested to see what Savage Gaming does here. Murky, man. Droplets is freaking memeing me. Ooh, caught myself.
Yeah, sorry. I have to double check something in chat. Yeah, I totally get it. It's just so far from what I thought. My brain didn't even go there. You know what I mean? And that's so cool. I love that. I love the fact that we see the game in such a fundamentally different way, yet in theory, it's viable. Yeah, I love the fact that we're just seeing something unique, and obviously chat gets to see Murky, so give us your hype, chat, as we introduce this with our potential last game of the night. On the left-hand side of the Moon Trunks, we have, oh my science, Hot Show playing GC, Battery on Tastar, Dark Chimera on Stukov, Saryu on that Malthael, and Troy playing that Tracer.
And on the right, in the red, we have Savage Gaming. Oh, we have a pause actually coming out by Dark Chimera. But we have Savage Gaming, Yuri on the Brightwing, Toby on the Uther, Droplets playing the Murky Lord, Kevin playing the Cassia, and Day Creeper, again, the champion, playing that Tyrael. He had the beautiful Sank last game. Let's see if he can keep it up this game. I'm excited to see how this game turns out.
Yeah, honestly, like with how interesting last game was and how much dynamism we saw in that, and the comebacks and the engages and the fights and the not fights, the things we saw and the things we didn't see. Really excited to see what these teams do with this as we go into our traditional setup, as Troy and Battery are just going to have a jolly old time here as Battery presses Q a lot. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this top lane matchups works. I assume that Murky is favored in this matchup. Otherwise, I don't know why they would have it. So it's not something I've played that much personally, but just, process of why would you pick the hero if it's just going to lose the lane. So looks like we're going to have a 1-2-2 coming out by Savage Gaming. Oh, actually, Brightwing isn't a TP bottom. So it's just going to be a strong tri lane with the Cassia double support, and then they're going to have Tyrael mid. Task Tracer is going to clear the mid wave and then probably roam down. So I don't think we're going to see much happen unless Savage Gaming overextends here in the bottom. They are actually getting flanked by the Task Tracer. Are they going to be okay in Verum?
I'm not sure here. Toby getting that interest to start things off, but Hacho is going in. Nicely done. Isolating onto Yuri. The Pulse Bomb is there as well. The heals doing quite a lot here. Toby actually body blocking the Brightwing. Not ideal as he's going to fall. That is one takedown. Nice rotation coming in from that Task Chaser combo. Beautifully executed. And I don't think Murky's winning that top lane. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's dying left and right. I mean, maybe it's just... I mean, I understand the no cleanse, but... if he's going to get pushed in and lose that top lane, really is going to be a rough time for Savage Gaming. And the first altar is going to spawn here. It is going to be a triple shot. You're going to have the altar in the bottom, one in the top left and one in the top right. I would expect to see both teams trade the top one, right? So Malthael cap top left, Murky cap top right, and then you'll have a fight erupt around this bottom shrine.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. Sometimes we do see a variant on that if we have that global like we do the Brightwing, but I think in this case you're 100% correct. We'll see something fairly standard and normal here. As the bottom fight begins, we have that vision coming in, being offered by Yuri with that peek-boo, but Troy is entering the backline, once again isolating out with the Pulse Bomb with the Power Slide. Beautifully done. This Brightwing is the saddest little fairy dragon you ever did see. The heals are coming in, though. Troy taking a lot of damage, start things up, putting the recall. Kevin, one more. There's the fend. Beautifully done. Yuri survives somehow. Murky dies at the top lane as well, but that healing on that Brightwing was flawless, keeping him alive through that entire engage. And now it is ETC who's struggling. He's going to have a power slide in just a second. Will he have it in time? The heals are there. And the face melt, there it is. Barely able to escape. Beautifully done. Great heals coming up from Dark Chimera.
Looks like that is going to be 2 caps for Savage Gaming, though. Unless Dark Chimera and Hasho are able to get the stall here, actually kind of risky coming out. Okay, that should be a cap. Generally, I'd like to see the DPS zone, right? Having Cassia out there doing damage and letting the Brightwing cap, but little things that they're able to get the cap here. They're up 4 shots. Savage Gaming is, wow, huge damage coming out on Detroit here. It looks like Uther went full Shockedin. He went full Q build, which means his he's going to be using his Holy Shocks onto the Tracer, dealing that damage. Good adaptation coming out by Uther here. Meanwhile, on the top lane, update on the little Murky. He's getting dumpstered. His towers are almost out of ammo. And Malthael seems to be winning this lane pretty decisively. Savage Gaming took out their pumpkins, and it looks like they are going to be focusing on the bot side in there.
Yes, indeed. They're going in there. Hacho isolating her once again. That Pulse Bomb. Brightwing surviving by an inch. Beautifully done. The Pixie Dust just enough. And now Day Creeper's here, but a great Faith Melt is engaged. Yuri has lived where no one has a right to live I mean, they have blown their entire load, and he is just surviving somehow. But once again, the power side coming in, and he's isolated. I think this time he is going to fall, though. Potentially the Q coming in from Uther is just way too much to deal with. I lied. Double support, just too good. But we finally discovered Uther's weakness, and that's his mana bar.
It does look like Murky is full double soak now. Cleared out mid wave, forcing Tracer to respond. Well, Malthael just pushes out top. If Murky actually does die here, that is going to be a lot of experience that they lose. He is taking a lot of damage here. Even in death, Murky does fall. That is a huge wave that is going to be, you know, not soaked for the team of Savage Gaming.
That was a funny animation, I have to say. Malthael is just dumpstering Murky in this top lane. Like, it's not even close. Like, I understand the thought process, but like, it's just not working. He almost 3-shots him. He basically does.
Droplets is inting. Someone clip it, send it to him. Yeah, looks like there is going to be a fight erupting in the bot lane here. I actually think Savage Gaming really needs to send someone up to the top right. Droplets is not going to be able to defend this cap by himself. He has proven that Malthael is just going to destroy him. Looks like a fight actually is erupting into the bottom. Day Creeper is going to go in. Meanwhile, Malthael is capping the right. Really smart play coming out by Oh My Science, just distracting, say, hey, just attack us, it's cool. Meanwhile, they ninja the cap in the top right because Malthael is the superior solo laner.
Yeah, absolutely. There's literally nothing that Murky can do here. He's just going to get bodied. And Steryu is having the time of his life. He is such... his melee assassin play has been absolutely phenomenal. Definitely someone to keep an eye out for. I know I'm going to be personally... It's a name that I recognize, but definitely one that I'm going to be keeping an eye out for as this fight continues to rage on in the bot lane. Murky doing his absolute best to keep the attention of Malthael on him. But in the bot lane, Hacho, he's looking for that money. Engage, and Michael, barely may have found it here. Troy as well, looking to make that happen, but power slide, that's what I'm watching for.
Yeah, Murky falls again in the top. I'm sorry, my eyes have been glued up there. And the pick, it has to be the no cleanse. Like, once they do get the Octo grab, Murky will bring a lot more to the team. He also has really good double soak. It looks like Troy is actually running down Yuri. Is the priming going to be okay here? Itobi in the bush. Okay, they just back off here. Good play coming out. The slide coming out by Hacho. The post bomb as well. Oof. One shot Itobi. Really good play coming out by Oh My Science, recognizing that the Uther is out of position and then invading the Pumpkin Saptors after that. It looks like Droplets is going to be clearing out mid-wave here as well. Complete double soak coming out by the Murky. But Oh My Science is going to get a lot of push in onto this bottom lane. They do have these sappers. They have the 10 talent here. Looks like they are going to go with Tormented Souls, Mosh Pit, Force Wall, Quantum Spike, and then Stukov is holding his. I would expect to see Flailing Scythe. I think it is the standard pick, but who knows? Maybe it will be the other one. Murky dies again, man. This top 4 is almost out of ammo as well in Verum. It's gonna fall soon. This Murky is not able to handle top at all.
Yeah, I feel bad for Droplets in this instance, just not having the best time of it, forcing to contend against a very unfavorable lane matchup here. But level 10 has been reached for both sides. There's the Octo, there's the Sank, the Emerald Wind, the Bouncy Ball. All right, let's see what happens. This clearly is what their draft had in mind. Can they make it happen? My only concern is that one good mosh pit, which we know Hacho can land, can totally just shut down this entire team from Savage Gaming. So let's see how this team fight plays out. I'm really curious on how they intend to make these team fights work.
Yeah, it does look like this Stukov does go with Flailing Scythe as well. Oh, good force wall coming out by Battery. Actually, okay, isolating Day Creeper. They just get a little bit of trade there. Troy, his shield. Okay, Troy is going to be all right here. He is just a little bit out of position. Day Creeper with the sword behind it. It looks like he is going to take it. It looks like they are going to go onto the Taskar here. Cassia in Droplets with the flank. Oh, beautiful silence coming out by Dark Chimera, stopping the Sanctification. Seru is going in with the Tormented Souls in Verum.
Oh man, but that is a lot of overlap rather with that Divine Storm as well as the Emerald Dream. Oh man, that's the Emerald Wind. Not an Emerald Dream, more like an Emerald Nightmare. Not having a lot of synergy there. Beautiful engage. The mosh pit as well to isolate. Really nicely done coming out from Oh My Science. Everything went wrong there. That silence denying the Sank is like, I'm going to clutch the Sank like I did last. Oh no. Oh no. Just not a good situation to be in.
And Octo Grab didn't even come out. So
nothing went right.
Once again, yeah, I wasn't that skeptical with the draft, man. I was excited for it. Maybe this is just, you know, you gotta go back to the drawing board and find a different scenario. But in the bot lane, it looks like Brimey is gonna get slid on. The Uther, you know, it looks like they are gonna turn into the ECC though. The stun coming out by Itobi, Day Creeper trying to get those body blocks. Kevin flailing swipe coming out by Stukov, resetting the T5. The Octo Grab! Here it is! Here's Murky's time to shine! And they killed the Tracer! Murky, it was all worth it just for this moment. And they're going on to Hot Show. Day Creeper trying to get the body blocks. The stun coming out by Itobi, force wall. Hot Show's gonna be completely fine, he says. I don't even care about this. Murky going right back to the double soak. Droplets. You're getting destroyed. You lost your top force, but you did it. You got the kill.
Droplet and you know, in my mind, Droplets has already won. He did the one thing he needed to do. That could have been a variant, but no. Octo Grab. Baby, we did it. He's there. Only lost a fort for it. It's fine. This is fine. Yeah, but you know,
like
maybe
the
team can relax. We're good. We're good. He's getting it back. He's making it happen. That being said, Seiryu could legitimately score some 4 points here.
Yeah, I think this is if Droplets isn't able to get this 4, I think this is guaranteed going to be 3 shots going into the top lane, coming out by the mouth hail. But fighting going on. Looks like Savage Gaming is just going to back off here. They don't have the 13 Intelligent Divine Sword coming out on a Trace. Looks like that was a little preemptive. Yuri is going to get slid though. Silence coming out by Stukov. Beautiful sync coming out and the stun onto the Tracer. I don't think Savage Gaming is winning this. Huge mosh pit. Hot Show, the mosh pit king. 3-man mosh and the slide onto the Cassia following up flailing swipe. Are they going to be able to get more here? Droplets coming in with the flank. Murky is here. Octo Grab onto the Stukov. How are they turning this fight around? Are they going to be able to get kills? Kevin is falling in Baron.
They did not quite make it happen. They're trading out 2 for 3 for 1 right now. And what could have been a sick fight for Savage Gaming was just denied by the cow. Hacho said no. A beautiful sanctification to deny that pulse bomb to save the team that got out of the silence. Maybe the Emerald was going to come out, but didn't quite occur. And then all of a sudden, 3-man mosh pit. And Hacho said no. Honestly, this is something we discussed in draft. The lack of stopping power on that mosh pit, and it's really coming to bite them right now. What is a very cool draft for Savage Gaming is running into a very real wall, and that wall, his name is ETC.
Yeah, it looks like there are 3 pumpkin sappers that are going to be escorted. Nah, they are just going to get cleared up here. It looks like Oh My Science is just going to triple soak here. Oh, Murky Egg is going to fall here if he's not careful. Okay, he is. He recognizes it. He says, I'm going to get as far away from Seiryu as I can. I've been feeding to that guy all game, and my egg is not up. I don't want to. Day Creeper is just getting a little bit of, you know, Tracer's just being that little pest that she always is. It looks like they're going to be okay here. Savage Gaming is going to need to try and hit level 16. There are a 5-man grouping up into the bottom lane. The Tassador, the Octograd coming out. Are they going to get the poly follow-up as well? No, the E, the dimensional shift does come off. Kevin gets pulse bomb, sanctification coming out. Emerald Wind as well. Big divine storm by Toby. It looks like 2 heroes are going to fall for Savage Gaming. Level 14 to 17. They're getting 2 kills. Are they going to be able to get Dark Chimera as well? Yes. 3-man.
Oh, I think they can do it with droplets on the follow-up as this as well. The nice force wall, though, Dark Chimera is going to drop Emerald Wind into that massive divine storm, executed perfectly. The saving heals onto Cassia. Michael, that was a masterfully executed save. That was potentially a game of throws, but in the end they made it work right as 3 altars are about to spawn. You could not have asked for better timing, for a better fight for Savage Gaming.
Yeah, I cannot emphasize enough. That was level 14 to 17. Savage Gaming has no right taking that team fight, and they did. They took it. It looks like Battery actually might be caught out here on the top left. He's forced to use the dimensional shift. Okay, he does end up having deep shift, so he is going to be okay here. And it looks like Oh My Science, their heroes are going to be up in time. They are going to be able to contest this top left altar. Is Day Creeper actually going to fall? No. Pixie Dust and Uther Heroes coming out here. I would like to see them just leave. Kevin might be the sacrificial land. Octo Grab coming out. That's not going to do anything. Just let your Murky die. Leave him. Okay, yeah, okay. It looks like they are going to back off here. Droplet's just going to be annoying before he dies here. And it looks like Boss is going to be started by... Oh, nope. They're just going to run by it. they're not going to start the boss. Looks like they are looking for more kills here. Look like they want this Brightwing. Troy is on the hunt for Yuri. Okay, to be okay. He is going to get out safe. What does Savage Gaming do to come back into this game in Varium?
They need to get a pick. They need to find someone at a position with Octo grab up and the rest of the team in place. They just need to blow up that one hero and rotate, get a boss. They need to try and propel themselves into a place where they're not going to be massively down at the storm tier. Right now, that's looking. There's the potential saving grace that they could potentially come in here if they can get a couple takedowns. If they can get a fort or two, they could come back to some degree here. But right now, if Oh My Science just plays this safe, doesn't really look to engage, just plays for 20, I think they have a very easy game cut out for them.
Yeah, it does look like Savage Gaming is trying to force for level 20. Smart decision coming out by forcing a smart shot calling decision. You know, I'm a big advocate for, you know, they need to do something. Oh My Science, you know, they're going to hit 20 and that will basically secure the game for them. With the level 20 tier, they should be able to secure, you know, boss +1 cap. And well, it actually looks like D-Creeper is going to take a lot of damage here. I'd love to see them just go on Dark Chimera. You know, he's standing there still. Is Droplet's going to look for the Octo Grab? They're backing off here. I really feel like they needed to force there. Serio is going to get 3. This cap is potentially GG, and Oh My Science does have the level 20 talent here. Savage Gaming needs to pull a rabbit out of a hat. They need Droplets to hit the huge Octo Grab. They need that one-shot potential, and it looks like they are going to go into Battery here. Is this going to hit? Is this their rabbit? It looks like Battery is going to be okay. Mosh Pit coming out by Hacho and Verum.
This is absolutely huge as the Silence is getting so much value off of the back of this. The Divine Storm, though, trying to do this around the Tormented Souls, getting absolutely so much value. The Belly Swipe as well. They're trying to do something here to make this happen. The Twilight Dream. The Twilight Dream, that's not remotely the right skills. The Emerald Wind, God, I'm psyching myself up on that one. Level up 20 is just too much to deal with. This Day Creeper and Toby trying their absolute best here, but that's both on once again on Toby's beautiful sacrification, though, to deny that is just the team trying to go in, but that is the shot, and that is going to be GG, the low-key channel in the back of that, securing the game for Oh My Science, meaning we are going to see a game number 3. What a hilarious and fun time. But man, I just feel like if that hadn't have been a Murky and an Uther, if that had been a Varian Lily, was that just a different game?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would have gone a lot better for them. Their top side losing so much, I feel like it was such a big deal. I mean, Murky had a couple shining moments. He had a couple Octo Grab picks. I mean, that last team fight, I really need to emphasize Hacho. He actually stopped the Sanctification. Like, that was the winning play. He used his W to stop the Sanct. That would have been a 5-man Stank, absolutely mitigating the Tormented Souls coming out by Seryu. But, you know, Hacho really making a name for himself today. He's been playing out of his mind on tank. I've been really impressed by his ETC in particular. But yeah, Varian Lily, I think, would have just been better. I respect it. I love when people bring out unconventional drafts and they try things. But I mean, maybe a couple more scrims with Murky and try and figure out what's better or what it's better against, because Malthael definitely destroys him in lane.
Yeah, that was the thing, and yeah, that was the thing. I just feel like the Murky pick had a very clear role. It was to be that you talked about in the draft, to be the double soaker, to do that. The Malthael just strictly wins it. Just strictly wins it. And, you know, going into now, what is the last game of the night? The stakes have never been higher for these guys. I mean, I've never been higher. Maybe that's exactly. Okay, maybe. I mean, these guys have played in the HTC.
I mean, they played in dorms, like maybe college doing shit.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Never been higher.
Never. No. Screw it. I'm just saying the stakes have never been higher in the world. No. This is gonna be a fun game, man. No matter what, having an absolute blast casting with you here, dude. The hype is real. I would expect nothing less from HeroesHype going into this last game. Oh. It is Infernal Shrines. What are you looking to see from these teams? What is sort of your thought process going to Infernal Shrines?
I'm interested to see Okay, so here's what I think is going to happen. I think Savage Gaming is going to draft another 5-man team fight comp. That's what they've pretty much done every single game. They're, in their mind, they're like, okay, we picked Mercury that game, brush it off. We would have won that if we picked North, right? That's kind of what's going on in their mind now. So I expect them to pick something similar. I am really interested to see if Seryu picks up that Abathur Illidan again. It is strong on this map. Playing the map is really good on Infernal Shrines because the first two Punishers really don't get that much value. So I'm interested to see if they're kind of scarred from game one. I mean, we're on Sky Temple where they picked the Abathur Greymane, where they played that map-centric style. I would love to see them pull that out on this map again because I feel like they played it really well and just a couple tweaks at the end, not taking those couple team fights. That game was theirs. And I would love to see them, have that confidence of like, okay, yeah, we lost with it, but we were doing amazing. We did so many things right, and we can prove that we can win with this style of comp. So I'm interested to see if they try and do that. Who knows though? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what yeah, I agree. I feel like a couple small tweaks on that initial draft and on they could have very easily taken that game. That also being said, I feel like if they also just to say, hey, you know what? We can team fight better than you. We think we're just as capable of drafting an insane team fight comp. I would be curious to see them go that route too, and us to just see an all-out slugfest, an all-out brawl as both these teams go at it with two teams designed to scrap. That for me, I think would be one of the coolest things here. And what better map to do it on than Infernal Shrines?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this map enables a lot of really cool heroes. Like Diablo is really strong on this map. Diva is really strong on this map. The way the bans are going to go, you're going to get a Garrosh first ban, and then a Lucio ban, and I think first pick we'll probably see Brightwing, some support coming out by Savage Gaming. I mean, I'm almost positive that's what's going to happen.
I don't disagree.
What I'm really curious to see is if OMS picks up like Greymane, Muradin like they did the first game, or if they go something like Task Tracer again in the second game. So Garrosh ban coming out. They've pretty much done that every single time this entire tournament. Lucio ban, just do it. Don't even think about it. I know that's what you're going to do. You're going to run it down to 1 second and then ban Lucio, and I'm going to be tilted. But
don't be tilted.
No tilt, man.
No tilt. Only dreams.
Only dreams. Yeah, I mean, Tyrael? I actually like the Tyrael. They've proven that they love the Tyrael. They've proven that they can pick other supports and they still want the Tyrael. So I actually think the Tyrael ban would be pretty good. But wait for it. They'll swap last second to Lucio.
Just to rattle you.
They're listening to the cast. They're like, okay, well,
yeah,
he wants us to ban Lucio.
Later. That's it. It's like, oh, we'll just not do it out of spite. No, honestly, the Tyrael has been a critical factor to everything that Savage Gaming has done. So I would not be surprised to see that removed here. And there it is. That's a respect ban as much as anything.
Yeah, I think it's a good ban coming out by them. I think really smart decision. Takeaway, they've proven that they're really good with the Tyrael. I think Sanctification is always going to be a game-changing ability. The Lucio first pick coming out by Savage.
Whoa.
Anna Ragnaros. I love it. I don't necessarily know what they're going to do with it, but I see this, I'm excited. They are confident. They locked that in instantly. They took Savage Gaming to this map. They have a plan. I'm excited to see what it is. I think it's going to be like it's going to be Nano Boosted Ragnaros. Nano Boosted Ragnaros is really good against Deathball comps because you just have Qs like every second. Koreans have been running it in Hero League a lot from the streams I've been watching. So I'm hyped. And you take away the Tyrael so they can't sync. So that Rag is probably going to be an unkillable Lava King. Yeah.
Lava King, yeah. He's just going to live up to his lore. Let's put it that way. Don't stand in the fire. No, I dig it. And you're right. You mentioned it. Any team who auto locks in the picks like that, I love. Show me that confidence. You know what I mean? Like, I dig it. But Arthas Greymane, those are two solid pickups here. I personally am a big fan of the Arthas. I love the additional control that he offers. I love the lockdown. I love the survivability. He does a little bit of damage. And of course, Greymane, always a good pick. Good wave clear, good engage, good follow-up. Everything. Solid.
Honestly, just a little surprised why they didn't take away the ETC though. Maybe they'll ban the ETC here. They don't really have that reliable of mosh pit. Hacho has proved that, you know, he's an ETC beast. So I hope that they ban the ETC. That would make a lot of sense. Where pick the Arthas ban the ETC. Looks like we are going to get a bribing ban coming out by Oh My Science. Yeah. Really good double support duo, Lucio and Brightwing. I would expect to see maybe Oriole coming out as their second support for the side of Savage Gaming. But, you know, I hope they ban the ETC. He is a menace on that hero. He really has. Yes. Okay. Good. Brilliant. I love it. Genius.
You know, he had genius. Excellent. Glorious.
Yeah.
Seriously, he has one of the better ETCs I've seen in a while. He actually reminds me of a young battery. You know what I mean? He reminds me of one of those. Like when he was on the screen, walking towards the opposing team, my eyes were on his. Okay, where's his power slide? I see who's he gonna get here? He was consistently landing 2 or 3 man power slides that entire game, last few games, and that's really something you cannot deny here. But now we've got that nano boosted rag. That is sort of the crux of this composition. How do you round that out? Obviously, another support needs to come in, a main tank, and range damage. So are we going to see that Muradin? What is the main support going to be? Could we see something exciting like the medic? Are we also going to see a stim-droned, nano-boosted Ragnaros?
Could you imagine, dude? I feel like it's going to be
I'm imagining it right now.
Oh, Mouth. Okay, Mouth Johanna. They really are securing that wave clear. They're going to have a really strong 4-man. I actually feel like they'll probably pick up a solo laner. I feel like Mouth AL maybe could be really strong.
Yeah. Yep.
I wonder if I can go like a wombo combo. Like, honestly, pick something like Zeratul, Root, Silent Stream, or Silent Stream. It's funny because, like, in Pro, you call things, you don't call them by, like, their cooldown name. Like, it'd be like Anna Q or, like, Greymane Q down, you know, and it's, like, not Greymane Cocktail down because it's, like, too many words. So, as casting, it's weird because I feel like I, like, swap between all the time where I'm like, oh, Lucio uses Q instead of, like, Lucio uses Boop. So, really long roundabout way to say I feel like Oh My Science could pick like a Zeratul or a Medivh and go for a wombo combo, laying down Malfurion's Root and then his Twilight Dream and then having Sulfura smash off of that as well. With the Nana or the Anna throwing her grenade could be sick. Tassadar or Sonya coming out by Savage Gaming. Really strong face roll comp. Honestly, they have a lot of sustain. I actually am kind of terrified though. I feel like the nano boosted Ragnaros is just gonna eat up all of these melee heroes. But Sonya Poison Spear, you were mentioning it earlier. It's such a good talent. It could be enough burst to bring down that rag.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously, the way I was looking at the medic, obviously would not offer nearly enough wave clear. So I definitely like this Johanna Malfurion pickup. You hit the nail on the head with that one. Who's the ranged DPS? Who fits in here? Who can survive? Part of me's almost looking for maybe like a Kalthas or a Kalphazad or something.
More
like,
fire. I honestly thought they were gonna go Mouth AL. I'd be interested. I think Mouth AL could be really.
Yeah.
But range damage. Yeah. I mean, I think any mage could be good. Honestly, I think. Okay, they go with the Vola. I think Vola's okay. I actually feel like I would have liked something like Gul'dan more. Just more control. Really good monkey clear. Brings fear. Yeah, Vola's not bad though. Staple.
The follow up, the sleep into the root into the Rain of Vengeance. Yeah. You know, it's gonna be dirty. Like, and that's actually an interaction we don't get to see too often. Is a sleep into a root. It's actually obviously if you miss that roof as a Malfurion, uninstall.
Inverum is toxic. Start a Reddit thread, please.
Start the Reddit thread. Do it. No, but just maybe look at your mouse settings because you done goofed somewhere. No, I'm excited to see what they do with this, and I have not yet seen the nano boosted rag, and I'm so I
haven't either. The people have been hyping it up to me, so and looking at Savage Gaming, like I imagine Dave part of Army of the Ghouls, and it's gonna be dead in 2 seconds because you're just gonna have like 3 insta rag Q come out. So I actually really like Oh My Science's draft. Wait, what were you gonna say?
I know what it's called. It's
okay.
Whack-a-mole rag.
Whack-a-mole rag. Oh, that's good.
That's it.
That's good.
Done.
All right, I'm taking the blue
calling it a night. That's
we
it.
Have Oh My Science in the blue. We have Hacho Nope, that is not ETC. That is Johanna that he will be playing. We have Dark Chimera on the Anya. Seru, he's been an absolute beast tonight on all the melee assassins. He will be playing the Ragnaros. Troy on the Vala, and Battery playing the Mount.
Yes, indeed. And on the other side, in the red trunks, we have Savage Gaming. We have Daycreeper on the Arthas, Toby on the Lucio, Kevin on the Greymane, Yuri playing Tassadar, and Droplets on that Sonya. I'm so very ready to see what goes on here. I had to do it. Excellent.
Looks like both teams are going to be posturing around mid heel. Look, hovering towards. Okay, no, she is rotating back to mid. It looks like it is just going to be a 5v5 here. Unstoppable coming out by Johanna. Misroot coming out by Daycreeper. Droplets with the spear. Looks like he's just going to spin to win on the wave. Good interrupt coming out by the Johanna to stop the Sonya spinning. I'm interested to see how the lanes come out here by Oh My Science.
Pretty sure it's going to be a solo lane rag. I mean, that's this quintessential tried and true. You don't really need to worry about the combo until post 10. So I think it's honestly lighting up against Sonya here. It's not, but I love the fact that we're just seeing so many teams just ignore the concept of the solo lane and just saying that's fine, but why would we just lose?
No, I agree 100%. Like, if you're gonna lose, do something else. So I like this. Looks like Rag actually might be falling top. Looks like Lucio and Sonya, okay, are going to check him out to half HP. He is going to survive. This should allow Savage Gaming to push up here, though. They should be able to take about half a tower. Good response coming out by Oh My Science, pushing in the bot lane as a response. Looks like it is just a standard 3-2 and a 4-man rotate coming out. So Oh My Science is doing the 4-man rotate. Or actually, they're just doing 1-1-3, I think. No, they're 4-man. They're trolling me. But it looks like Savage Gaming is going to just be pushing really hard into this top lane, and Oh My Science doesn't have a response. Like, maybe they send them off here. Daycreeper actually is going to fall in the middle. Really good body blocks coming out by Hacho there.
Hotch? Who is this? Who is this guy? Between him and Shot, we've seen some sick tank play tonight. I'm so ready. I want to see more from this guy. I honestly feel like this is my first experience. Was he somebody else? Is this a name change? Chat, I need to know. Because his warrior play has been some of the best I've seen in the M scene in a while. I'm legitimately impressed by this person.
Yeah, and off of that, Arthas kill, they are going to secure the first Punisher for themselves, as well as not giving up that much. It looks like they are going to be able to catch both lanes. They need to be careful here mid, though. Lucio speeding them in. It looks like Seru actually is going to go down here. Really good play coming out by the Arthas, slowing that Rag down. I spoke too soon. Savage Gaming actually might secure this Immortal for themselves. Oh My Science is up 28 Infernal Punishers, though.
Yeah, these skeletal defenders are racking up on the side of Savage Gaming here, but Oh My Science is slowly just trickling them down. Hacho does still have that Iron Skin. Nice dodge there, but Greymane's not quite so lucky. Sorry, Anna is not quite so lucky. That is completely the wrong hero. For a second there, I got real confused. Anyway, it's late, guys. That's midnight on the East Coast. There is the Molten Core coming in. They're going to be dropping that in, trying to secure these last 5 skeletal defenders. Hacho's going in as well. Can they do this, Michael?
Yeah, I think that can Kevin actually caught out of position here. Okay, good dodge coming out by Kevin, juking that root from Battery. He says, nope, no thank you. I would love to see Oh My Science actually soak it out here. I mean, they're down about half a level. That probably is just wave experience dropping in. It looks like Droplets and Toby, really smart rotation coming out by Savage Gaming, saying, we don't need 5 heroes to defend. We can just send 2 up top to push. It looks like Toby is going to be all right here. Meanwhile, the Punisher is pushing into the middle lane, and Oh My Science is going to basically only get a tower off of that. I mean, and that is fundamentally what happens on this map. The first 2 Punishers really don't accomplish much in Verum.
Yeah, I mean, the first Punisher is always sort of a toss-up. I mean, unless you've got a Sylvanas, it's gonna get okay value, but nothing momentous here. As level 10 is just level 7 is just around the corner for both these squads. Yuri needs to be a little bit careful. Just have his dimensional shift, so not in too much threat here. But Daycreeper has already discovered what happens when you get body blocked in an uncomfortable position to start things off. The shield is going in here on Task. Nice dodge on the Q, get himself out. And up in the top lane, Lucio Ragnaros, not an ideal lane matchup, but Droplets is capping it, getting this. Is he going to cap it right away? Do you think he's going to hold it off for a bit here? I feel like if he caps it right now, they get pretty decent but push value with it.
Yeah, I mean, so since they're capping it early here, I'd expect push with it. Since they do have the Sonya Lucio postured in the lane, I'd expect to see them try and take the wall. It looks like Battery is going to rotate up top as a response. Yuri is actually getting caught out here. The sleep coming out, double Q his dimensional shift coming out a little bit late here. Actually took a lot of damage there. Okay, he is going to be able to survive, but that is a really chunked out Tassar, and he's not going to have dimensional shift for about 20 more seconds.
It's a good situation to be in if you are the side of Oh My Science, really just limiting their ability to lane up in the top lane. Though Seryu is going toe-to-toe with Droplets, the battle of the Bruiser supports. But this Bruiser, speaking of Bruisers, this camp is going to go down here momentarily. Yuri, dude, you just need to back. You need to get right out of there. So, oh no, the bio grenade. Oh man, that was
Chimera.
Seriously,
making the plays, man. He said, nope, you can't back in my vision. I mean, that's actually pretty big that they got that delay.
Yeah.
Tassa is going to be a little bit delayed to topside if he does end up rotating there. But I think Savage Gaming is going to give it up. But look, Kevin is posturing around the bot sieges, just looking to split push during this Immortal. I like this play coming out by them. It looks like Sonya and Lucio are going to start into the Immortal though. So a little bit of everything happening for Savage Gaming right now in Durham.
Yeah, both squads doing a really good job of capitalizing on multiple facets of the map here. Objectives, mercenaries, lane pushing, soaking, Droplets going in onto Battery and top lane. A nice zoning route there from Battery as Yuri is joining in the fray as well around the corner from both squads here. As we do have the route coming in, Daycreeper, the boop, the follow-up, Seryu. He's so tanky though, the sustainability with Battery surviving through it all, just not enough DPS on the field to get that takedown onto the Ragnaros, but the push is very real for the side of OMS in the bot lane as both teams just trying to secure themselves their heroic abilities.
Yeah, good rotation coming out by Oh My Science. They're actually going to actually might be able to defend top 4 once Savage Gaming get the Punisher because they have the Ragnaros Molten Core up there. I love this rotation coming out by Oh My Science. It looks like level 10 is going to be secured for both teams. Force Wall, Army of the Dead, Wrath of the Berserker, Soundbearer coming out for Savage Gaming. And then we have the Sulfura Smash, Nano Boost, Twilight Dream, Blessed Shield, and Molten Core coming out for the Ragnar to the top side here. Is he not able to defend this? Yeah, that's insane. He actually might fall. The Punisher may jump on him after this. Okay, no, Battery does take the jump. Yeah, so look, they're not even going to lose a fort up here, it looks like. Trading a fort for nothing. Really good rotation coming out by Oh My Science.
Yeah, that bait was really solid, pulling the Immortal back, or Punisher back into those keep towers. Really just denying that. Really good positioning there from Dark Chimera. But wow, that initial hit going on that Poison Spear, it hits like a freight train, like a Mack truck going in there. But we are seeing okay value getting taken on the map here. Neither team wants to overextend. This is obviously game 3. This is our last game of the night. No one wants to make a silly mistake that costs them after all the work they have put in this evening. So there is the sleep into the root combo that we were talking about in draft. No really follow-up or capitalization though, but maybe a hint of things to come.
Yeah, and it looks like there is just going to be kind of full until the next Shrine phase comes up. It looks like both teams are playing very respectful. Like, this is game 3, guys. This is tournament life on the line. Whoever wins this game is going to be crowned the champion of today's tournament. And that is going to be a factor. It actually looks like Savage Gaming is going to be invading the Knights here. As I speak about them playing passive, they aggressive Droplets with the good bush camp. Oh, that sleep coming out by Dark Chimera, saving his life. But Battery is going to get jumped up. Kevin going in. Blessed Shield coming out by Hacho. Droplets getting hit, getting punched down, but everyone's just going to disengage. Looks like Savage Gaming is going to take the Night Camp back out. And as far as ult goes, actually a winning trade for Oh My Science. Only had to use Blessed Shield, whereas Army of the Dead and Wrath of the Berserker was used for Savage Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, trading out the heroics pretty much on identical cooldowns here. The big one really is the Army of the Dead, as you said. Yeah, that's kind of something you don't really want to use willy-nilly here. Level 13, though, almost around the corner, as they're really just looking to play on this next Punisher. I feel like this next one will be the one where the fights really start to come online. And there it is. Kevin and friends going there onto Seryu, but they're trying to get as much value as they can. The Cosmos Spearman getting cleaned up before they go into this. Don't want to leave those pushing as the objective goes on, but I expect all 5 members pushing in here. But great rotation up after the invade, getting their own bruiser camp in this top lane. Savage Gaming gets that pressure in top. Something to really watch for here. This is really a sign of a mature team. They know their timings.
Yeah, but they actually were a little delayed on that. They might have to give up the entire Punisher here for that. They traded essentially 20 skeletal defenders for their Night Camp, or 30 it looks like.
Wow, you're right.
They are on a timer here. They need to look really fast if they want to contest this. Wrath coming out by Droplets. They recognize it. Daycreeper coming in. Are we going to see the nano boosted Rag? Look at that. Ragnaros doing insane amounts of damage. Huge silence coming out by Battery during all of this. Oh My Science are able to secure the shrine, 2 kills and a Punisher. What else can Oh My Science get off of this, Invarium?
Well, they're gonna look to push into this keep right now. Here I'm commenting the time, which you're right, they're actually really late. I looked at the initial time and thought, yeah, they're gonna be fine, but you're right, by the time they got there, it ended up being almost 30 skeletal defenders. But the real story there was the Blessed Shield into the Sulfurous Smash into the Twilight Dream. Lucio, his job in the team fight is to do one thing, and that is to cast Sound Barrier. He did not get to cast Sound Barrier, and the sheer Gib potential, the blow up that came out from the side of OMS was just too much to handle. The retreat is real right now, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think they're going to
Four coming out, though.
Wait, what? The turn on the back of that, the swing, the follow-up, the damage to this right, the bush to the follow-up as well, Etobi and friends, Jade Creeper. Can they survive during this? No, the rank damage is so solid. Jebaited, says OMS. You thought you had him, but you did not.
Exactly what you were saying. Sound Barrier is still not off cooldown. Beautiful play coming out by Seiryu, actually stopping the Sound Barrier with his Molten Q. That big swing coming out by the Molten Core is stopping the Lucioing, stopping Savage Gaming in their tracks. They all expected to have this 2000 HP shield, and it didn't come out. And 3 heroes basically had 1 HP because of it. So it looks like Savage Gaming is going to look to chase though. Kevin jumping onto Dark Chimera, dismounting him. A little ambitious. I respect the play though. They need to force something before level 16. I would love to see Savage Gaming looking for the innovative. Droplets already know. It's really good game sense coming out by Droplet, instantly going to the bush. Let's see if they recognize that they're on the bot camp here. Deep invade coming out by Droplets here. Normally this would be a smart plan, but Oh My Science sniffing it out, just go straight to bottom camp. But Kevin with the aggressive roll. Look like they are going to go on a battery here. Etobi gets the Sound Barrier off, but one person is already dead. Tassar has been destroyed. Nano Boost coming out onto the Ragnaros and Verum. They're getting destroyed here. What does Savage Gaming do?
They are going to die. That was not ideal at all. Losing one member to the Sulfurous Smash before the Sound Barrier goes off. The beautiful sleep from Dark Chimera. We saw Greymane just taking a quick little power nap during that fight. Wakes up, everybody else is gone, and he soon joins them in the afterlife. Level 16 has now been reached. Beautiful, beautiful engage there going in. Literally, it's just CC world. It's Blessed Shield into Rain of Vengeance, into Root, into Sulfurous Smash, into Twilight Dream. It is all the CC you can humanly imagine, and if you are a Lucio player, it is the worst feeling in the world. I'm like, I'm just trying to press on, man. Oh man, look at this team. We're gonna do great. Oh wait, no, we're not. We're gonna be gone. It feels real bad, man.
Yeah, looks like Savage Gaming really is going to be on the ropes here. So much map pressure coming out by Oh My Science. I'm not sure how Savage Gaming can win these team fights in Vera. Like, what do they do? How do they turn this around? They've lost every team fight post 10 handily.
It's a tough situation because they don't necessarily have the best pick comp. They need to get like a really good route into a Poison Spear, into like a Go for the Throat with a decent force wall. But honestly, they need to get a pick. They need to try and find that additional rotation once they get 16. But it's really tough because OMS is never not being 5. They're playing this exactly right. They know where their team comp thrives. Why would they ever risk making a mistake? And that's really the situation as it stands. They've got to try and pull a defense here and then play for the next one. They've got to play for post 16, but this is going to be very tough. Michael, they're going in right now. This Punisher's doing a lot of damage. I think this might be the key.
Yeah, this should be the key falling. They also have the level 16 advantage. If this keep, they can. Rag now has that level. The Rag Fort coming out. Molten Core, the swipe onto Kevin. So Furious Smash coming out through the Sound Barrier. He gets bursted. Huge damage coming out by Oh My Science. This actually might be game over. They've got 2 kills. GG's already coming out by Kevin. They recognize they are losing. Dropless is like, wait a minute, guys, I can still win this game. Nano boosted Rag coming out. Look at those Q damages. Holy moly. The 1-2 and a Rag in draft has paid off. Oh My Science are your champions. They have won this game in Verum. What a series. What a wonderful day of casting. I thank you.
Woo. Dude, no, I'm right there with you, man. I'm hyped. I'm hyped as hell right now. This was by far my favorite draft of the night because it did so many things well. And Phoenix said it perfectly in chat. It has so much stopping power. It really, literally stopping power. Look at the CC. They had 1 death that entire game. my saying, I've been saying this in the 2 years of casting, CC wins games. Stuns win games, and we saw it showcased here beautifully tonight. Michael Udall, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for the 100 of you who've been hanging out. We're going to hop to a quick interview with Troy 1010 or 1010. We're going to ask him how that's said in just a second here, because I have questions that need answering.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Before we hop to that, I just want to emphasize the Rag had 44,000 damage. The next closest person was Vala. Vala got out damaged by Rag. She had 29,000 damage, and then Grayman with 26,000. Rag almost doubling the damage of Vala. That is just shows the power of that, duo, that nano boosted Rag. That composition was beautiful. I loved it. It really, they showed the power of it, and I'm impressed. You impressed me. That's all I can say.
That's it, man. That's it. No, 100%. I agree. So, I'm looking. So we have Troy 1010. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey.
How's it going? I guess first question, how do you say your name? Is it 1010? Is it 1010?
Troy 1010. Thanks for asking.
Ooh, I got it right the first time. Congratulations, sir. How are you feeling after your win?
It's great. I'm feeling very, had a lot of fun. Shit, dude. That last team fight, that was not the last team fight, but like the one where they were trying to flank us. Oh my gosh, dude. You're like, all right, Nano's back up. Like we're ready for this, man. It was exciting. It's pretty great. I kind of just watched them carry me though.
Yeah, Troy, I have to ask how, after game one, you guys were ahead that entire game. I feel like you guys played that early and mid game really, really well with the Aperture composition. How did you guys rebound, right? Because I've been in that position where you're down one game. If you lose one more game, your tournament life is over. And you guys rally and won the next two. What was the team atmosphere like? Like, what was going through your head at that moment?
Oh man, we were just like that overheal comp was cancer. We're not dealing with it again. We're going to bring enough damage this time. If they're not going to be able to out heal our damage, that's what they had on the first game. We reacted to that during the next two games. Yeah.
No, yeah, it was solid. Clearly the reaction was there. Like, how did you feel after seeing level 10 and seeing Sanctification, Crystal Aegis, and I believe
Sound Barrier? Yeah, like, Sound Barrier.
What
was that like when all those spells went off and we were just like, wait, like what happened in comms?
Dude, like we were like, all right, so during the this is during like the laning phases, like outside of the team fight, but we were like, all right, so it looks like our game plan is to proc the Lucio ultimate and then disengage, and then proc the Sanct and then disengage, and then proc the fucking or the whatever Crystal Aegis. Yeah. It was.
That's the one.
Yeah. So, and at one point we were just like, that's not going to happen. So we need to try to take a 5v4 fight. We did get the 5v4 fight. We still lost. They still beat us in 5v. Yeah. It was. I mean, like. I don't know.
I like your name for it though. The overheal comp. I dig that. I like that name. Seriously, that was solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, what are your last thoughts here? Because like obviously Troy, you got to be quite pleased. I guess actually, real quick, I'm gonna totally cut you off preemptively. Give us some history on your squad real quick, because I want to hear more about how you guys came together and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, well, let me think about that for a second. So first of all, Katie, our manager, is amazing, and she networks with a million people. And just tries to get the best. So Harrison and I are good real life friends. We started with some other people at first, and then we sort of our first person that we found was Seryu. Like he was hella good in any scrim that we played with him, and we were just like, hey, we're really impressed, essentially, we had people for like a good 3 weeks. We're just trying out 1 million people, and like during that time, like, you know, Seryu really shined, and so we picked him up. You know, we're not an official team yet. They're still, you know, you know, obviously it's very early in like the team making stage, you know.
But still tryouts after winning.
Yeah, but we'll I mean, no, but we're still, I mean, like, you know, like, of course, you know, if you're winning, like, why would you ever leave, you know? But the thing about it is that to get the best team in the HGCO, like, you gotta plan for, you know, you gotta plan for, like, not stepping down on, you know, like, we'll take the second best. Like, no, that's not really what you want to do. So you go for the best. Honestly, like, Dark, like, I'm always impressed. Like, I have not seen him miss, like, a single, you know, I haven't seen him miss a spell in ages. Like, I don't even remember. Like, it's just incredible to have him on the team, or, you know, playing with us. It's really awesome. And of course, you guys know Battery. Like,
oh yeah,
he, you know, he's brought so much wisdom from like all those games in the HGC that he played. He knows so much from that, and he just, you know, shares that, and it's really nice. And yeah, I'm always impressed with him as a player as well. You know, we're always like thinking of new stuff. You guys saw the Anna Ragnaros? Like, yeah, this is the type of stuff
I'm calling it whack-a-mole rag. Reasons. No, dude, honestly, like, you know, obviously you guys are still in sort of that formative process, but if you guys stick with it, keep it up. Like, this roster looks seriously impressive. I was digging it. Mike, what are your last thoughts on this before we call it a night?
Yeah, I mean, all in all, impressed with your guys' resilience. Like, I know how difficult it is losing game one and coming back and winning the next two games, especially when you're winning and winning the entire game. So I just really impressed with that. I mean, as far as the team stuff goes, like I was giving you a hard time about, damn, won the tournament, still tryouts, but I appreciate your sentiment. You know, it is, I mean, winning is important, but it also isn't more important. You know, like, you have a long season ahead of you. You have 6 months, and you need to build a team that can last. So I wish you guys the best, and, you know, it was awesome to cast you guys. You guys are really exciting. That Nano, and, you know, that Anna Rag comp, you were QMs, yo, that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, man, questions, thoughts? You guys did sick. It was awesome to cast. I get so excited. It's so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. But one more shout out to Katie. She's amazing. She networks all the time. She's hanging out. It's incredible.
Awesome. Is that Katie Cat 224 in the chat? Shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. Shout outs to Katie for making this all work, getting behind the scenes, and of course, thank you so much, Troy 1010, the rest of your squad. Congratulations for taking home the win. It's absolutely fantastic to talk to you and see you guys wreck face. It's always fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks. See you later.
Cheers.
All right, Michael. Yes, yeah. Get the laughter out now. Whoo, take a breath. I mean, we self-imposed the PG-13 on ourselves, but, you know, no one's paying for. He's fine. This is fine. We're good. Yeah, it's all right. Okay, it's getting late on the East Coast. I'm gonna head to bed because I'm tired and I making mistakes because it's 1 a.m. But dude, thank you so much for coming out and casting. It's been an absolute blast. We're definitely gonna bring you back because, like, the hype is infectious. And where else do you want the hype?
In Heroes Hype.
Exactly.
Gotta whisper it.
Yeah, the ASMR cast.
Should we do an ASMR casting segment?
We could
ASMR. The Rag Nano boost is insane right now. Thank you guys so much for having me, though, and Verum. I really enjoyed. Shout out to the whole Heroes Hype team. Shout out to everyone that stuck with us and watched the whole time. I hope you guys enjoyed the games. A little self-plug. If you guys saw things about my cast that you want to help improve, my Twitter is Michael_Udall. Seriously, tweet at me. I'm second time casting since retiring, like, trying to improve. So thoughts, things, just like, hey, Michael, I like this, or hey, Michael, I didn't like this, actually does mean a lot to me and goes a long way. So thank you very much once again for having me in Verum. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed our political talk. Not even political, just like life talk. You know, I thought it was cool.
It's good. We got to do the whole range tonight. Everything flowed very smoothly, which was lovely. And dude, of course, and honestly, like, chat, if you have feedback, actually send it, because, like, I remember when I was starting casting, literally the hardest thing to do is find good constructive feedback. Straight up. And of course, the same always goes for me. If you're like, Paul, do things differently, tell me, please, dear Lord. It's the only way to get better is to hear feedback. That being said, guys, we're gonna call it a night. Gotta give a big shout out to all the staff making this work behind the scenes at HeroesHype. These people put in so much work, their time, their energy, their love behind the scenes. So many people. There's like so many people doing work. You guys don't even know. Big shout out to Argy and Ballin Beast for putting on the show tonight, the physical production to make our lives so much easier as casters. And then of course we're gonna send the host over to our head writer Flag. He's doing a 24-hour extra live stream. Oh baby, benefiting. I shouldn't say the last part of this. Omaha Children's.
Oh baby, I liked it.
Not say the last part like that. Yeah, it's good. It's good, guys. All right, we're gonna call it a night. Just check out Michael Udall on Twitter. Michael Udall. God, I can just learn to say it right now.
It's my fault, honestly. Dude, the first people casted me and they called me Udall. Funny that I never called them. I just like let them do it. And
well, now we know. For the record,
yeah.
That's it. All right, guys, we're gonna call it a night. You have a fantastic time. Go send your love over to Flag, and go help the kiddies out. And there we are, guys. Take it easy. Cheers. See you next time.
Bye.